Good evening, my dear students. Hello to each and every one of you. This is Dr. Anisha from Sri Chaitanya Educational Institutions. Welcome you all for our another session of Zoology class for NEET 2025 Bridge course for the aspirants of NEET 2027. So here we are again. We are here for the another class of Zoology in which we are going to learn few of the topics which will be helpful for us in studying the actual topics in our classes. Alright. So here we are again. Yes, namaste and good evening to each and every one of you. So what all we have studied till now? We have studied till now about the various topics. Now we have started another topic, that is animal kingdom. And in this topic of animal kingdom, we are starting with the very basics of the animal kingdom, that is the basis of classification. The layers of the classification, the basis of classification, the characteristics based on which we call an organism to be an animal. So that is how we are studying right now. We have discussed about the level of organization, that is cellular, organ, tissue, organ system level of organization yesterday. We have studied about the body symmetry. Now here we are going further about the body plan, germ layers, body cavity and the segmentation in today's class. So let's start here again. I hope you all have a very good time right now and you all are enjoying the class with us. So that is why we are making an effort in making or in fulfilling your request or your achievements. So now here we are in the animal kingdom. Basis of classification, what all we have studied yesterday. Basis of classification is the level of organization and body symmetry. We have discussed about the level of organization and body symmetry. So now what is it today? Today for the basis of classification we are going to study about the body plan. Okay. So we will be discussing about the body plan today. We will be discussing about the germ layers. We will be discussing about the body cavity or coelom, segmentation. We are going to study these together. First we are starting with the body plan. Since we know the body is either made up of cells or tissues or organ system, they have a symmetry, they have a plan, they have an arrangement for the places of different organs. Every organ has a different place, every organ has a different location, and that is the body plan. How is it planned? That is the body plan. So now here it is body form or the body plan. Body plan basically can be divided into two types. Now what are these two types of the body plan, or we are calling it as the body form. Body form or the body plan is of two types. These two types are, first it is the tube within tube body plan, tube within tube body plan, and another is the blind sac body plan. Tube within tube body plan and blind sac body plan. There is one more body plan which is called as the cell aggregate plan, which is the most primitive type of the body plan. So cell aggregate, blind sac, tube within tube body plan, these are the three different types of the body plans we have. What is this cell aggregate plan? Now since we have seen porifera is made up completely of the cells, various types of cells are performing the function of the digestion, respiration, circulation, excretion, everything. All the functions are performed only by the cells themselves. So that is the body plan which are called as cell aggregate plan. So cell aggregate plan is the body plan commonly seen in the poriferans. They are the most primitive type of body plan and there is nothing much planned in it because all the functions are performed by the individual cells. So cells or the aggregates of cells are performing the functions of different body structures. So that is called as the cell aggregate body plan. Cell aggregate body plan is, first of all, they are present in poriferans and all these cells performing functions, all the cells performing various vital functions are called as the cell aggregate body plan. Since the cells are forming or cells are performing different functions, it is cell aggregate body plan. Now we are coming to these two type of body plan which are very important, called as the blind sac and tube within tube body plan. So now what is blind sac body plan? Blind sac. So what is this blind sac? See here in this diagram also we can see this is the blind sac body plan. Here we have seen that there is a single opening for entry of the substances, and again through this pathway only there is exit of the substances. So there is only single opening which is acting as for the process of ingestion as well as egestion. So it is like a sac, a single sac with a single opening, almost like imagine a purse or a bag. If you have a bag, there is only one opening through which we put the things inside and we take the things outside. So there is only one opening which is helping in the process of ingestion as well as egestion. So such type of body plan in which there is only single opening present, and this single opening helping in the process of ingestion and egestion both. So it is like a sac, it is like a bag with a single opening through which all the things are going in and the excretory material or the other excretory material or the poisonous material is coming out through that single opening. So such type of body plan is called as blind sac body plan. Only single opening present which helps in both ingestion. What is the meaning of ingestion? I hope you all know. Ingestion means intake of the food. Ingestion or intake of food. So ingestion and egestion. Egestion means the release of toxic material. Release of toxic material, that is the egestion. So through a single opening, both ingestion and egestion is being performed. Such type of body plan is called as blind sac body plan. And what all phylum are included as blind sac body plan? Porifera already segregated as the cell aggregate plan. So what will be there? Again, if we remember the sequence, Porifera followed by Coelenterata, Ctenophora, Platyhelminths, Aschelminthus, Annelida, Arthropoda. Yes, a number of them are there. But what will be included in the blind sac body plan? Coelenterata, Ctenophora. Yes, even Platyhelminths, they also have the blind sac body plan. So Coelenterata, Ctenophora and the flatworms, they have the blind sac body plan. So they have only single opening for both ingestion and egestion. They do not have a separate opening for the process of excretion. One opening for both ingestion and egestion. So here is this, it is like a closed sac with a single opening. Now we are coming to the part which is called as the tube within tube body plan. So what is this tube within tube body plan? See here, there is one single tube within the whole body tube. Imagine the whole body a single tube. Inside the body, for example human body, inside the body there is oral cavity, esophagus, stomach, intestine and rectum. The whole of the digestive tube is there. So inside the human body there is the digestive tube, another tube, tube within a tube. So tube, first tube is the digestive tube, or we can call as the alimentary canal or digestive tract. That is present within another tube which is the body cavity or the body tube. So tube within tube has two separate openings. One opening here for the process of ingestion, another opening here for the process of egestion. So two separate openings for ingestion and egestion is called as the process or the body plan of tube within tube body plan. Okay, so tube within tube body plan, very simple. Blind sac body plan has single opening which is acting both as the mouth and anus, both for ingestion and egestion. Tube within tube, there are two separate openings. One is acting as the mouth, another is acting as the anus. So tube within tube, why the name given tube within tube? If the whole body is a tube, within it or inside it another digestive tube is present. So that is tube within tube. So here we are, now it is the tube within tube body plan. So tube within tube body plan in which there are tube present which is the digestive tube, two separate openings for ingestion and egestion, one acting as the mouth and another is anus. So you all are writing it down, I hope, because it is important. You need these things for your future classes. So make a note of it, write it down, remember it, go through it various times, revise it repeatedly so that you remember these terminologies. So this is called as tube within tube body plan, in which there are two separate openings for the process of ingestion and egestion. For the process of ingestion, there is the mouth present, and for the process of egestion or excretion, there is anus present. Such type of body plan is called as tube within tube body plan. Now tube within tube body plan, it is present in which type of organisms? What all examples will be there for tube within tube body plan? What all it will be? Now we have seen poriferous cell aggregate plan, Coelenterate, Ctenophora and Platyhelminthes, blind sac. Now it has evolved even more. Earlier only cells were acting as for the process of digestion and excretion altogether. Now it evolved into single opening for both ingestion and egestion in Coelenterate, Ctenophora and Platyhelminths. Now they have developed even further. They have two separate openings, one as the mouth and the anus. So now they have most evolved organisms which is starting from the phylum Aschelminthes. So starting from Aschelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata and Chordata. They all have same type of body plan, that is tube within tube body plan. Alright. So that is why I have told you to memorize the sequence of the phylum starting from Porifera, then the Coelenterata, Ctenophora, Platyhelminth, Aschelminthes, and every time I repeat these sequences so that each time you hear them, it repeats in your brain and you remember them. Okay. So now what all phylum will be included in this? Aschelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata and Chordata. So till Chordata, starting from Aschelminthes till Chordata, they have tube within tube body plan. This is the most evolved body plan. Alright. So this is about the body form or body plan. Cell aggregate, blind sac, tube within tube. Alright. And I hope you all have understood it. You all now remember it. So till now we have completed the level of organization, body symmetry and body plan. Now moving on to the next part, the germ layers. Now what are these germ layers? Okay. So what are these germ layers? What do you understand by germ layers? Germ layers means, we have already discussed about embryology. In embryology we have seen that zygote is there. Zygote undergoes division. It gets divided into 2 cells first, 2 to 4 cells, 4 to 8, 8 to 16. These number of cells will be present. Now these divisions are done by which type of cell division? Yes, it is called as cleavage cell division. Now cleavage division divides the 2 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 16 cell stages. So from there we are coming into this germ layers. How the germ layers then getting formed? The formation of the germ layers. Now what is happening here in the germ layer formation? For the formation of the germ layer, say if you have the zygote divided into 2-celled stage into 4-celled stage, which finally forming 8 to 16 cell stage, or we can say mass of cells. So we have in the blastocyst condition mass of cells. So this is the structure containing mass of cells. After this stage, the cells will rearrange themselves. How this rearrangement take place? The rearrangement takes place in such a way that some of these cells, the outer layer of cells, will arrange themselves in these layers. These layers are the outermost layers. Some of these cells will arrange themselves in this inner layers like this, okay, and rest of these cells will be present here in these forms, like this, okay. So these are the 3 layers. The outermost layer of these cells, they are called as the ectoderm or ectodermal cells. The outermost layer is called as ectoderm. Ectoderm gives rise to various components like the nervous system, like the skin, hair, nails, the epithelial surfaces. All of these are formed by the outer layer of cells called as the ectoderm. And the digestive tube or the inner tube, is formed by a group of cells, the layer which is called as endoderm. So the outer layer of cells, they have ectoderm, and inner layer of cells, they are called as the endoderm. Most of the organisms or some of the organisms have only 2 germ layers, ectoderm and endoderm. They have not evolved to form the 3rd germ layer. The outer ectoderm and inner endoderm are the only 2 germ layers in many of the organisms. These organisms which have only 2 germ layers are called as diploblastic organism. Blast means the germ cells. So diploblastic, 2 layers of the germ cells. Another is the organism in which outer ectoderm is present, inner endoderm is present, and in between mesoderm is also present. Okay, so outer ectoderm, inner endoderm. Outer ectoderm is forming again the layers which are forming the nervous system, the skin, hair, nails, the epithelial surfaces, the outer parts. Endoderm forming the gastric tube, or we can call it as the digestive tube, and in between the various types of connective tissues, the muscles, bone, cartilage, blood, lymph, everything is formed by a 3rd layer which is present in between them. The 3rd layer which is present in between them. This 3rd layer which is present between the outer ectoderm and inner endoderm is called as the mesoderm. So this mesoderm is not present in all the organisms. Organisms with 3 germ layers are called as triploblastic. Okay. So organism which has ectoderm and endoderm as their germ layers are called as diploblastic, and organisms with 3 germ layers, ectoderm, endoderm, and in between there is the 3rd germ layer, mesoderm, is called as triploblastic. So now we are here again, whom we call as the diploblastic phylum and who all are triploblastic phylum. So here we are again, see diploblastic organisms. So what is it? Diploblastic organism. This is the outer ectoderm, the inner endoderm in both of them, the inner endoderm. In case of triploblastic organism, there is this cellular living layer of mesoderm present. Whereas in case of diploblastic organism, ectoderm, endoderm, they have this middle layer inside which is not mesoderm. It may be some non-cellular layer, it may be some jelly-like secretions, it can be anything, but it is not cellular living layer, it is not mesoderm. So they have ectoderm and endoderm only, they are the diploblastic organism. What are the examples of diploblastic organisms? Diploblastic organisms, we can say coelentrates. Coelentrates are diploblastic. Ctenophores, they are diploblastic. So coelentrata and ctenophora, they are diploblastic organism. That means they have an outer ectoderm and inner endoderm only. In between, whatever they have, it may be a sticky substance, jelly-like substance to keep the two layers together. But this is not cellular layer. This is definitely not going to be made up of mesoderm. So mesoderm is absent. In between ecto and endoderm, some thick jelly-like substance is present. That is the phylum Coelentrata and Ctenophora. Now again we are coming back to the evolution. Again we are coming back to the sequence of the phylum, which all will be included as the triploblastic. If Coelentrata and Ctenophora, including the poriferans also, if you take aside, porifera, Coelentrata, Ctenophora is already gone. Now we are starting with the platyhelminths. So starting from the platyhelminths, and if we are going till the chordata, it will again be the platyhelminths, and I hope you all have now remembered the sequences. I hope you all memorized the sequences now. The platyhelminths, the Aschelminthes, after that Aschelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca. I am not going to write all of them because I know you all remember it. Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata, and again Chordata. So that is where the sequence plays the major role. You need to remember which all will be included and at which point. So here we are again, Coelentrata, Ctenophora, they have the diploblastic layer. They have diploblastic layer of the germ layers, and starting from platyhelminths, Aschelminthes, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata, Chordata, they have triploblastic germ layer. Alright everyone, I hope now you have memorized the sequence. That is very, very important. And you all are so interested and you all are so focused. I am very sure you must be doing very good in your studies right now. So this is about the germ layers we have discussed. Germ layer formation occurs from the embryonic stages. Various cells, they arrange themselves in the different layers to form the ecto, endo and mesoderm. Now what comes after the germ layer? Okay. So this is body cavity or coelom. Now the concept of body cavity and coelom is not very clearly written in your textbooks. But I will tell you what exactly the coelom or body cavity is. Imagine this is the human body. Now the human body has as the digestive tube. Okay, if this is the digestive tube, this is the digestive tube. So this is the digestive tube of the human body, and rest part is the human body. Now the rest of the part here, there is rest of the part here, this is an open or empty space present. This whole part, it is the empty space. This empty space present between the body wall and the digestive tube is called as the coelom or body cavity. Okay. So now here we are again. Yes, I know you might be little confused with what I have said. I will explain it again. See here, if this is the body wall and this is the digestive tube, Okay. So the space between them is empty. That space has many structures in it, but that space is called as coelom. That is coelom or body cavity. So now in human body we have understood what is coelom look like or how the coelom appears like. But how do we define it in any of the body? In any of the animal or in any of the organism, whether they have a well-defined digestive system or not, the body cavity will always be, what will it be? The space between the body wall and the digestive tube. The space between body wall and digestive tube is called as coelom or body cavity. How do we define it? As a definition, the body wall, space between body wall and digestive tube, space within them is the coelom. Okay. So space within them is the coelom. Space within them is coelom. Now how do we define it? When do we call this to be a coelom? A coelom is defined as with the help of their germ layers. Remember, we have seen these structures. This is the ectoderm if we take. This is the endoderm if you take. Okay. This is the ectoderm and endoderm we have taken. Okay. This is ectoderm. This is endoderm. Alright everyone. We are going in detail about the coelom. What coelom is actually, what coelom is made up of. So outer ectoderm and inner endoderm. The empty space, endoderm encloses, the endoderm is the digestive tube through which the food passes. So this is the hollow lumen. This is the hollow lumen. Alright. The esophagus, the stomach, the intestine, that is the hollow tube that is formed by the endoderm. And this is the body wall, that is the ectoderm. Now the space between them, ectoderm and endoderm, the space between them is empty, or we can say filled with fluid and many other components. The space between them, first of all. Second, the space should be completely lined by, like this, the space should be completely lined by the third germ layer, which is the mesoderm. So these two things must be completed. First, an empty space must be there, must be present between ectoderm and endoderm. An empty space present or empty space should be there present between ectoderm and endoderm. There should be an empty space between the body wall and the digestive tube. Similarly, the space should be empty between ecto and endoderm. And second thing is, it should be completely lined by, it should be completely lined by mesoderm. It should be completely lined by mesoderm. So it should be completely layered with, on both the sides, the outer and the inner side, it should completely be layered with the third germ layer, mesoderm. Only then it will be called as coelom or a cavity. A true coelom or a body cavity will be called as a body cavity only if these two things are seen in them. One, the empty space between ecto and endoderm, and second, it should be completely covered with the mesoderm. So these three germ layers together forms the body cavity. Alright, so this is the basic structure of the coelom. Now we are coming to the part, what are the different types of coelom we have seen or we are going to see. Different organisms have different types of body cavity. I am very sure this type of body cavity you have seen. All the other organisms do not have the same type of body cavity. They have a different type of body cavity. Now what type of body cavity is there? So three three possibilities are there. We are going to see three possibilities there. All of these we are taking as the ectoderm. Okay, 4 rings we are here seeing. So these are the ectoderm, and all of them have the endoderm between them. So they all have endoderm between them. So this is the endoderm between them. Alright, so they have endoderm between them. So ectoderm and endoderm. Okay, all of you are following? All of these are the ectoderm, these ones are endoderm. Now this first diagram, see this first diagram, in this first diagram there is no mesoderm present, and some of the components are present here like this. Some tissues, some cellular, non-cellular structures, they are present like this. Okay, there is no mesoderm present. Now there is a third type of process here in which there is the presence of the mesoderm like this, which is filled with a tissue. Okay, these are the possibilities that we are going to see in actually some of the organisms. First has no mesoderm, second has mesoderm, they have mesoderm, and the space is filled with some of the components. Between ecto and endoderm, some of the structures are present, some of the tissues are present. Now the third possibility is that there is mesoderm is present, definitely mesoderm is present, but mesoderm is not complete here. Mesoderm is not complete here. Mesoderm like this present. Mesoderm is not complete here. Incomplete mesoderm is present. And the fourth one is there in which there is complete presence of mesoderm. So now what all these types of possibilities are saying? The first one in which only ectoderm and endoderm is present. There is no mesoderm present. These are for the diploblastic organism. No mesoderm is present. Only ecto and endoderm is present. So such type of organisms in which no mesoderm is present, then there is no possibility of any kind of coelom formation. Such type of organisms are acoelomate. They are called as acoelomate organisms. They are called as acoelomate because they do not have mesoderm present in between them. So first criteria, what all criteria we have seen? There should be two criteria to be called as a complete coelom. One, there should be an empty space between ecto and endoderm, and the layer should be, the empty space should be completely covered with the mesoderm. Here there is no mesoderm. So that means no mesoderm. Okay, Lasya is asking why there is no mesoderm? Because in case of germ layers, diploblastic organisms, we have just read diploblastic organisms are made up of 2 germ layers. So in those organisms, the diploblastic organisms, since they do not have the third germ layer itself, they are called as acoelomate. There is no mesoderm because of their developmental conditions, because of their evolutionary primitive nature. They are not evolved like the triploblastic. So that is why they contain only the 2 germ layers. Such type of organisms are acoelomate. So in one word we can say all the diploblastic organisms are acoelomate because they do not have the germ layer, third germ layer. So there is no question of coelom formation is coming. So acoelomate organisms, first type in which there is no mesoderm at all. Second possibility, another very important. See here. Now they have the organisms, they have the third germ layers, The mesoderm is present, ectoderm is there, endoderm is also there, and mesoderm is also there. And in between ecto and endoderm, there is the thick tissue present since there is no empty space available. Ectoderm and endoderm is completely filled with, the space between them is completely filled with a tissue. It is a tissue of different function. It can be excretory, it can be of nutritive, of different function. That is not the point. The point is ectoderm and endoderm do not have an empty space present between them. In the first scenario, mesoderm was absent. In the second scenario, the whole empty space itself is absent, even if they contain the third germ layer, mesoderm. So here they have mesoderm, but the first and the ecto and endoderm, there is no empty space. So even they are also called as acoelomate. So the first and second type of scenario is of acoelomate group. They are called as acoelomate organisms. Now, who these acoelomate organisms are? What are the examples of such acoelomate organisms? So what all are acoelomate organisms? In this case, Coelenterata and Ctenophora. These are acoelomate organisms. Coelenterata and Ctenophora, they do not have the third germ layer. They are diploblastic. Just now we have seen. So they are also acoelomate, and this is the case we see in case of platyhelminths, in which third germ layer is also present. Mesoderm is present, but there is no empty space present between the ecto and endoderm. Hence, they are called as acoelomate. Empty space is not available. That space is covered or filled with a tissue. So, they are called as acoelomate again. So, we have two types of organisms, both acoelomate. One group is they do not contain mesoderm, another group do not have the empty space. Now, it is the third scenario in which there is empty space present between the ecto and endoderm. There is mesoderm also present, but the mesoderm is not completely lining or completely covering the whole empty space. The empty space is not completely covered by mesoderm. They are present in the form of some pouches. Such organisms are called as pseudocoelomate. Such organisms are called as pseudocoelomate. So, they are pseudocoelomate. Pseudo means the false coelom. They appear like the coelom, but they are actually not coelom. Even they are also present in triploblastic organism. They are also present in triploblastic organism. Outer ecto and inner endoderm is present. Mesoderm is also present in the empty space, but they are not completely covering the mesoderm. So, empty space, not completely covered by mesoderm. So, mesodermal pouches are present. Mesoderm in the form of pouches are present. These are mesoderm pouches. So, mesodermal pouches are present in between the outer ecto and inner endoderm. Such type of body cavity is called as pseudocoelomate. Now, which organism has pseudocoelomate type of body cavity? It is the roundworms, or we can call them Aschelminthus. Again, we are following the sequence. See here how they have evolved. Earlier, there were no germ layer, which is the mesoderm. In the next, they appeared as the mesoderm, but the space between them were not present. In the third, mesoderm were not completely covering the empty space. And now here it is, which is called as the fourth scenario. The fourth scenario is called as eucoelomate. Eucoelomate, or also called as true coelom. True coelom or eucoelomate. Now, what are these eucoelomate or true coelom organism? Eucoelomate or true coelom organism contains the ecto and endoderm. Space between them is also present and the space is completely covered by mesoderm. So that is called as true coelomate. Now true coelomate organisms are present starting from the Annelida till Chordata, all the phylum they are eucoelomate. Alright. So this is the point of formation of coelom and I hope you all have understood it. Raise your hands or we can say give me a thumbs up. You all have understood what is coelom and body cavity formation. How the body cavity is formed, how they are different and what all we see in each and every phylum. Give me a thumbs up if you have understood, like the video if you have understood. Okay. So this is acoelomate. Both of them are acoelomate as we have seen in case of the Coelenterata, Ctenophora and Platyhelminths. Pseudocoelomate, it is the Aschelminthus. True coelomate, it is the Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata and Chordata. Okay, very good everyone. I am very happy that you all have understood and you have appreciated the effort. Thank you so much. Okay. So now here we have cleared about the body cavity germ layers, body form or the body plan. Let's go for some of the questions. Segmentation is there. We'll just discuss very little about the segmentation right now. What is segmentation? Segmentation means the body will be divided internally and externally both. How the body is divided internally and externally. It is very shocking to understand that the bodies are actually segmented or divided. For example, if you take an earthworm or a leech, their body, if you take an earthworm, their body appears very clearly segmented. The segments are very clear in all of them. We can see they have this clear segmentation division throughout their body. But what about human body? Are they segmented? Yes, of course, human body is also segmented. Here we have taken an example of a fish. The body is divided into head, trunk and tail. Similarly, human body is also divided into head, thorax, abdomen. So the body is divided. Head contains the brain, thorax contains the lungs as well as the heart and other structures. Abdomen contains many structures, many organs, the digestive, the reproductive system, urinary system, all of these. So they are segmented internally as well as externally. Same with the fishes, same with the amphibians, the reptiles or many other organisms. Same with an insect. The insect's body also is divided into many segments. If you see here, the insect body is divided into the head or the abdomen part, the tail region. So it is divided into head, thorax, abdomen in case of insects also. So in case of the annelids, the segmentation is a little different, but it is also segmented. In case of arthropoda, again the body is also segmented, and in case of the phylum Chordata, the body also shows segmentation. So true segmentation is the one, true segmentation is defined as when the body is divided into many segments, both internally as well as externally, both internally and externally. That is called as the true segmentation. So for an organism to be called as truly segmented, what we need to know? For an organism to be called as truly segmented, we need to know they are segmented internally or externally or not. if they are not segmented both internally and externally, that is not true segmentation, that is not segmented, they are unsegmented. Which all phylum are truly segmented? These three phylum. The phylum such as phylum Annelida, Arthropoda and Chordata contain truly segmented organisms. Annelida, Arthropoda, Chordata contains truly segmented organisms. Okay. So, this is about the different segmentations of the body. Few questions we have. Which phylum shows the tissue level of organization? I am very sure you all can answer these questions very easily. The first question, phylum shows tissue level of organization. The protozoa, the porifera, the coelenterata. Which all will be your answer? The answer will be yes, yes. Who all are answering? Okay, Shivajyoti is answering A. Pooja, protozoa. Tissue level of organization is coelenterates, coelenterata. Alright. Next question, organ system level of organization. Yes, most of you have answered C. Organ system level of organization, organ system. Organ system level of organization is present in Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca and Platyhelminths. So, organ system level of organization. It has multiple answers which are correct. So, if it is organ level, it will be another different one. The organ system will be different. Organ system is present in Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca. Organ level of organization is present in Platyhelminths. Alright. Next question, incomplete digestive tract or blind sac body plan. Incomplete digestive tract or a blind sac body plan. Incomplete digestive tract or blind sac body plan. Blind sac body plan will be present in the organisms which are diploblastic also. So, this will be diploblastic as well as the organisms will be the Platyhelminths. The members of the phylum Porifera are commonly known as, members of the phylum Porifera, Porifera phylum, it will be known as sponges. And this is the, I think, last question. Which of the following groups of animal is bilaterally symmetrical and triploblastic? Bilaterally symmetrical as well as triploblastic. Which of these? Aschelminthus, triploblastic, bilaterally symmetrical? Yes. Ctenophores, not triploblastic, sponges not, coelentrates not. So, it is the first answer. So, thank you everyone. Here we have completed till segmentation. Next class, we will go further in details of the animal kingdom and various other aspects of classification and their basis. So, thank you everyone.